Another look in on early morning gaming at Geek Gamers. I've got Dragonfire out on the table and I'm playing just the introductory scenario, this Dragon Crawl, again. I, like many, find this game pretty punishing, and I do play with some house rules. So, for example, when I traded for this, I got a whole bunch of these magic item cards. It's a little hard to see them here in the light of morning, but they are almost holographic and very pretty. I distribute some common items to my party of 4 at the beginning as a little bit of a help, and I just do my best. It's a tough game. I'm actually made it to scene 3 at this point, and I think I'll get through. Our health is not great here, but I enjoy this game. I wish I could play it with just 2 characters. I've tried and immediately died. I don't mind managing 4 characters, but it lengthens the game, and sometimes when I'm playing this, I just wish it were a little shorter. I do also wish that the characters themselves had more differentiated abilities than they do at the outset. And I often play this fella because I just love his piece of art there. The other difficulty I have with it is it just does not feel to me in any way like a dungeon crawl. There's no sense of place. They give you this adventure environment card that you're meant to kind of flip over and stare at, I think, to give you some sense of where you are. And of course, some of the encounter cards do have locations, but I just saw one, the choke point I think we came through, but it's really, here we go. It's really relatively minimal, and for my taste, I think they could have done more with that, and I would have preferred something along the lines of, say, Sentinels of the Multiverse, where there's a specific location that you're in, and then the characters come in to play in that location. I did own Shadowrun Crossfire, and I got rid of that after a few plays because that really, well, first of all, that was extremely punishing, as many have noted, but second of all, I found it a little harder to get into the theme of it and to have it be more than just type card matching than here. Now, maybe this is because this is, D&D, and I am, as are many of us, so entrenched with D&D lore that when we see something like some of these common enemies, or I just got rid of a gelatinous cube, we bring our own narrative to it, and that takes me a little bit away from just the putting a green to a green and a black to a black. But I have to make some effort on my part to get into the theme as feeling it like it is a dungeon crawl. And as such, I noticed that there's an expansion out, a card expansion out, which I hadn't realized. I'm a little on the fence about getting that or not. But I may consider it depending on how it's priced. This is a game that it comes in and out and of my gaming closet, despite the flaws. I never use the stickers. I don't do campaign upgrades. I have like a whole 35 sticker sheets that are just sitting there. Occasionally, as one of my little house rule benefits, I'll give somebody one of the sticker attributes and I'll just write it on a piece of paper, but I tend not to do that. I tend to go with the magic cards that I have for that purpose. And here we take a look at what's in the market. Some of the other imbalance is curious to me particularly in the dungeon crawl adventure, the dungeon monster level 1, some of them are pretty tough, and even less tough than the ones that come in at level 2, which is also a little strange to me. But overall, I take it out. I take it out, and I like card games, and this type of resource card management in a fantasy theme is going to definitely get me. So that's what I'm playing at the moment, and unexpectedly, I'm going to be getting into the house, a game. I don't even have the game to show you, but I'm going to show you. I printed out a BGG fan-made invasion sequence of Code Word Cromwell. I'm extremely excited. I got my hands on a copy of this game, which I wanted for a while, and I will be playing it and presenting it to you. To my surprise, there's a bunch of unboxings online, but I haven't seen any gameplay of it online. And despite the fact that some of the unboxings said they were going to show some gameplay, but I haven't seen any. So I don't know what that might mean in terms of the actual game, but it is a to me it's a story game. It's a war game, but it's a board game, but it's an RPG-ish kind of storytelling game of a fantasy British village town defending itself against a sort of an imagined Nazi invasion in 1940. So I'm really excited about that, and I think it's going to check off a lot of the boxes that I have in terms of what I like in gaming and hopefully what you guys like. And then finally, back to this, I had to take one of my kids to a swimming lesson the other day, and I grabbed something to read by the pool, and this was my rules for Grunt. Not the original rules, of course. I would not take those to the pool, but this is my three-hole punch copy of the Grunt rules, and I mentioned this in some other update. I'm really was looking forward to this game and still am, partially because it had these a solitaire section of rules built into it. When I looked more closely at it, I don't know how well it's going to work solo. It looks like a great two-player game, I'll say that. I don't know about solo. It is a light war game based in Vietnam, and it has a lot of additional alternate rules that add some layers onto it of complexity. I am going to see how I can make it work solo, and if it feels to me like it's of use and of interest, I will be preparing that for you at some time soon. And then finally, the last part of this, now swinging into a little bit of a longer update, is I do plan before the end of the year. I played a lot of games this year, and I have decided on doing the top 5 games that I have played this year to a short video, just summing them up. I will have done videos on all of them, and I'll just highlight some of the reasons that I love these 5 games from my past year of play.